Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Full Force News Burst Live with me, Christopher McLeod AKA Diagnostic 80, brought to you by GeneralsJoesReborn.com. I hope everyone is doing well this Tuesday evening. Well, it is where I am anyway. Wherever it is where you are, I hope you're having a good one of them. Hello to everyone in the chat already. I see 610 Yojo Daddy, amazing name that. Real Zim, Big Sean 916 or 916, however you want to say it. DGD Hype Productions, Chris G, Checkpoint Alpha Venom. Hello, everybody. I hope everyone is doing well, and everyone else who isn't necessarily making comments just this second. Everyone else who's joined, I hope everyone is having a good time. Hello, Paul. Hello, Jeffrey. Right. Earlier today, JCarn7 posted some test shot images of the Cold Slither figures, and so, well, not all of the figures, I don't think anyway. I think it's just 3 of the figures, multiple different versions of the same one, and some of the accessories, including the drum kit. And it was all test shot related, or looks to be mostly test shots and stuff like that. But we'll be looking at those, breaking them down a little bit, getting into the weeds on that. Hello, Matthew Matson. Nerds indeed. And yeah, I'll be talking about that, won't I? Right then, it's gone a little bit quiet on the old leaky action figure front, hasn't it? So it was quite a surprise, actually, that just out of the blue today, these popped up. What was that weird last pick of the tangled thingy, Christy? That will be a hairpiece, I believe, for Ripper. Yeah, I think it's Ripper's hairpiece, but we'll talk about that in a second. I should have put the images of the what they call the renders in, just to kind of like have a look at them side by side, but I didn't do that because I didn't think to do that until just this second. But yeah, I believe that hairpiece is Ripper's. Right then, let's get into it. We've got images to look at and all that jazz. Yes, you get musical interludes on the Full Force. Hello, Kev Jewel. Hello, Scott Skeen. Hello, Johnny B54. Hello, everybody in the chat. Hope you're all having a good evening. Let's get into it. So yes, Cold Slither leaked test shots images, courtesy of JCarn7, or just JCarn, however you want to say it. And here is the main image shows kind of everything together. So on the left-hand side, you've got Ripper and mostly his parts all sort of like gathered into one place, including his kind of flying V yellow guitar, which is pretty rad, and the hairpiece. No head sculpt on that one. We do have a buzzer head sculpt, but nothing else on show. As we make our way across the divide, across the image, you'll see 3 buzzers all next to each other. One with a head sculpt and the glasses. Hello, Ripper's Parts says hi, brilliant. The drum kit, of course, which is really cool looking when we get into the kind of details of that. Lots of stands, lots of cool little aspects and elements on that drum kit that I'm very excited to sort of see. And what I assume is Buzz's Mohawk that is detached. Maybe that's Buzz's original head sculpt. I don't know, actually. I haven't really thought about this. We'll have to have a look at that in a second, because I don't think it's the same head, is it? Maybe not. No, I think that I'm not even sure that is. Well, we'll have a look, because I haven't had a close look at the Buzzer head sculpt just yet, but I believe it's an old one. Paul says a reference to Chicago was not on my Full Force bingo card today. No, well, you know, I think I said all that jazz and sung it every single time. It's like I can't say it without saying, like, you know, Zarana. I have to say Zarana. Luke says, hey, I worried I won't be able to get that Cold Slither set. I was lucky to get the Once a Man, fingers crossed. I think we all get a bit worried, don't we, regarding whether or not we're going to get the exclusives. We've definitely been conditioned into thinking that it's going to be difficult. It might be easy. Anyway, we've got all Scott Bozzo, and the drum kit and the hairpiece, which all again kind of together in one place. We have 2 versions of Torch's keytar, although no Torch. But then again, I believe Torch is actually pretty plain. I believe he shares the same legs as Ripper. And I think body-wise, he's naked and they've painted his kind of top on. The kind of yellow vest and the red, like, kind of like arrow, I believe is painted on like a naked torso, effectively. Yeah, I think it is, because you can kind of see you can see the chest crunch. So I believe that's just painted on a naked body, so there wouldn't be anything other than maybe like the gloves, which are different to the other three. Maybe those parts aren't there yet, or available yet. But I would assume at this stage we're pretty far along with these figures. Yeah, Buzz's head sculpt is completely different. He's got that kind of like crazed look on his face. Obviously bald, apart from the giant yellow mohawk, which is like a mo mullet. It's like a hawk mullet, a mullet hawk, because it goes all the way down the back like a tail, like a mohawky tail. None of these words make any sense, I know. And then the figure to the right with the guitar is obviously Zartan. Although we have seen a proper, almost full version with color with Zartan, courtesy of the official channels of Hasbro that they shared during the last live stream, which feels like an age ago, but was only a few weeks ago. It feels like an absolute age ago. I think some of the weeks I'm having feel like years, honestly. Certainly feel like years on my mind, but are going really quickly at the same time. Like physically they feel like years, but like, visually they're zipping by. I feel like I'm just aging really fast. It's sad. Stanley says, was expecting a live with these leaks, as you probably would be aware of that. Yeah. Hi, it's me. I thought that yellow bit was vomit, maybe from a fan. That's hilarious. No, it's Buzz's mohawk. Paul says, anyone planning to customize the Zartan to have the rings around the calves? Oh yeah, that's a good point. Maybe. I don't know if I will, but I'm sure people will. Mohawky Tail is my favorite Cobra Law character. Cobra Law character says, hi, it's me. Brilliant, yes. Then as we go through, we can see some close-ups here of Cousin It in the left-hand side, and of course little close-ups of the drum kit as well, and from both sides, and that brilliant mohawk. I assume Jay Khan has put the old, like an older Buzzer head sculpt on this one, to kind of just give you the idea of Buzzer. But yeah, he's going to be completely different looking than what we've seen. Another couple of shots here, just again highlighting that drum kit again, and that bit of vomit or hair, which is kind of hilarious the more I think about it. A mohawky tail. It's Cousin It's vomit. He looks like he's retching. It does actually. Cousin It does look like he's retching. We'll get to that in a second. PBJ Street Gang says, can't wait to have to pay triple for it on the secondary market. Try and avoid that if you can, as impossible as it does feel sometimes. Try and avoid paying for secondary market versions. And then, of course, yeah, your Keytars. Two different versions. I will say I'm not 100% concerned that we'll get WIBBLY instruments. I feel like this is kind of like early versions, kind of like working that sort of stuff out, just like test shots, test deco, that kind of thing, just to see where it kind of how it looks and everything. I could be wrong. We could have, the necks of the guitars all wibbly wobbly. I hope that isn't the case, but we'll obviously find out, won't we? Straps, obviously, yeah, wibbly as you like, please. Bummed that there are no instruments hands. All these hands are trigger hands. Yeah, that's a good point, Stan. I don't know if we are getting different types of hands. We certainly haven't seen that on the renders. So yeah, I do wonder what we're going to get at the end of the day, because we know we're not getting a microphone, which is still weird to me. Like, how are they? You need a microphone, surely. I still don't understand the reasoning behind that. That doesn't make any sense to me. How are they singing the lyrics, guys? Is it just all backing track and then miming? Can they have the little earpiece kind of mic? headpiece mic, a head mic. That'd be so cool. Anyway, yeah, so again, close up of that keytar as well, which is nice to see. We have seen obviously some of the instruments before. We've seen the keytar, we've seen the flying V guitar, we've seen the Zartan guitar, courtesy of the official drop, official image, the official reveal, I should say, sneaky little reveal. But this is definitely new in some of the other elements, which is great. So here's Zartan and Ripper, headless Zartan and Ripper with their instruments. Yeah, you can kind of, I mean, it works for the holding the neck, like that hand works really fine. The other one, not too bad actually. They don't look too bad to me, like especially Zartan on the left hand side. That looks natural to me, even though they're not like crazy, they're not like specifically instrument hands. I don't know. I kind of feel like it looks pretty natural there on the left hand side. How many pieces is that drum kit? Quite a few, I believe. It's a difficult question to answer when we don't really know, but it looks like, you know, a stand, a cymbal, the drums, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 from what we can see there. But then there's going to be a stool. There's going to be probably the little pedals, the drumsticks. So there's going to be quite a few. I don't know exactly how many pieces, Stanley, but a fair few. It's quite a lot of stuff for that one. And I don't know if like the stand pieces come off the drums, like the floor toms and the snares and what have you. I don't know if they actually have removable parts on them. But yeah. Stygian says, basically, the toy industry as we know it is imploding. I feel that. And before I get Lifeline, that would suck, wouldn't it? Can you imagine what that will be at $27.99 a pop, though? Ouch, says Joss. What do you mean? What, the figures, individual figures? Luke says, how are they singing? How can they be playing those instruments? Dreadnoughts are supposed to be stupid. Welcome the AI music. Yes, indeed, Luke. Paul says, do we know if these are leaking from China or Vietnam? Not a clue. Not a clue. Considering the Cold Slither set seem to be quite far along, and we've been getting leaks from quite a few months ago, quite a while back. I would suggest that this was maybe prior to any sort of delays happening, because they would have had to have been in development for a little bit of time before they got to like these kind of stages, or the stage that we saw Zartan at the live event. So I'd imagine they'd have been in development for quite some time in 2024. So it's very plausible that the reason we're not seeing tons and tons and tons more leaks is because they switched factories as well in that whole delay thing they mentioned around NYCC. Just theory based this. I don't really know, unfortunately. But with that kind of, when you're looking at it from the outside in, it's really difficult to kind of like to really get an idea. But it does feel like maybe a lot of the leaks that we're still getting now came from the previous like factories, which would have been in China. Don't know about the Vietnam situation, honestly, Paul. I don't know if it's like mixed, if there's like some still in China, or if it's all moved to Vietnam. I actually don't know that amount of detail, unfortunately. Is there any way to obtain this without attending the con, asks Eddie? Get someone else to get it for you? Or maybe they'll do that thing where no, I don't know. Again, that's a question I'll have to ask the team. Maybe prior to SDCC, maybe in May when I speak to Lenny and Tony, they might be able to shed some light on that. But I think it's really just a case of SDCC exclusive, and then maybe some of them usually hit after the fact on Pulse. So they usually throw some up on Pulse after the fact, after the convention. It happened with Cobra Commander, and you know, if you're Pulse Premium, you're probably in there, but if you're not Pulse Premium, you're going to struggle. That's usually what happens. Matt says, all the Targets and Walmarts around me have removed all G.I. Joe pegs with their new planograms. That sucks. Which is, it's funny because I haven't seen G.I. Joe planogram on any of our Walmarts near me for months, for like loads of time. Haven't seen any G.I. Joe in any of, like, any space for it either in any Walmart near me. Target still has G.I. Joe section for classified figures, but and that hasn't changed. But yeah. What's a planogram? Asks Hi, it's me. When they do like, so when they do like their, when Target put out their like little pegs, effectively like the layout of how they're going to put all of their figures in an aisle, they will actually have a specific plan they have to follow, that they usually have to do. You know, there'll be like a couple of different plans because obviously different stores are different, but for the most part it's pretty much the same, and there'll just be a few variations depending on the size of your store. And yeah, you have like a specific way that things are laid out, so you have to, you know, so there'll be space where stuff isn't, that, you know, you just don't have anything for months because their plan is that has to have, they have to have space for that particular item. But yeah, basically a reset, Mr. Madgus says. Yeah, that would have been a lot easier for me to say. They changed that. Obviously, that changes on a regular, well, I say a semi-regular basis. Last Joe Wave I saw at Target was Quick Kick, Boa, and Airborne. I don't even think I saw those. I don't think I saw any of those figures in Target. Like, the only figures I've seen in Target are retro carded ones, weirdly enough. Like Duke, Scarlet, Cobra Commander, Stalker. They're the only ones I think I've seen recently, or the last ones that I've seen in any stores really around my way. Anyway, coming back to this, here's a close-up of those Keytars and Buzz's mullet. What did I call it? Mohawky mullet, something like that. Mohawky tail, that was it. Very cool. But again, we've seen those before for the most part. Have I already gone through these images? I feel like I've already gone through these images. No, I haven't. Or maybe I have. Yeah, I got to here, didn't I? Did I just go backwards? I must have gone backwards at some point. Yeah, this is Zartan. And yeah, I was going through the drum kit, wasn't I? Trying to break down the drum kit. Sorry, gone absolutely mad. I have no idea what's going on. So anyway, got to here. Brilliant stuff. Lovely. Brilliant. Also, I do like the additional extra little kind of like flourish of extra belt hanging off the side of Ripper there. That's a nice touch as well. Always love those little extra bits there. And then of course here is the Buzzer with the older Buzzer head sculpt on it. Of course he will not look anything like that, as I've just said. He will have this much more crazed, maniacal, ridiculous head sculpt with those sort of round glasses. I don't think they might be the right, yeah, they might be the right glasses, but they're not it's not the right head sculpt. So it's just to show the glasses basically, I think, which is nice to show that. Yeah, so that's Buzzer. And then we have this hairdo. This is the Cousin-It, and this is Ripper's hair, of course, which we can also see in this shot right here. So as you can see, that is Ripper's full-on haircut. Very sexy. I like it very much. I think this, yeah, this is going to be one hell of a set. One hell of a set. I cannot wait. Jeffrey says 60th was all over my Target until they did the last reset. Now they are a Ross, I guess. Yeah, I noticed that as well, Jeffrey. Yeah, they popped up there, didn't they? The 60th anniversary stuff. Buzzer's going for a swim, I think. He does look a bit, yeah, he does look a little bit swim-like, doesn't he? With his fin. Anyway, yeah, that's Ripper's hair. And that's pretty much everything. Not a long live tonight, which I'm sure you'll all appreciate. We're not going on for hours here. And that, just wanted to kind of like check out the images. I'll be going over these again on the weekly on Saturday. with Pat or not. I don't know if he's off, if he can't be on the next one. He said one of the weekends he wasn't going to be able to make it. I can't remember if it was the one coming up. And of course, technical issues meant that he couldn't be on last week. So apologies if you're missing Pat. We'll get him on one of these episodes. Eddie says, I hope I can find these guys, but I live in Miami and won't be attending the con. Hopefully I can get them on Pulse. Speaking of which, will we ever get another chance at Crystal Ball? I don't know. I feel like there are certain periods of time that have just swallowed up, like certain issues that have happened that have just swallowed up certain characters and figures. Like Crystal Ball seems like I got a feeling Walmart might have them in store or online again. But that's a stretch sometimes. And it's really just a guess. I don't know, unfortunately. Yeah, GameStop has slowed down, Chris G, big time. I was expecting the last wave to end up at GameStop, and it was just like never in any of the stores at all near me. And again, like I don't even think they ended up online either. They're still I'm still sitting there waiting in like the thing for them to show up. Those tight red pants with the stripe are a core memory. Yeah, big time, Eddie. Let's do the time warp again, says Scott. I'm not singing that. X Factor says, I need this set. I've wanted Cold Slither for about 40 years now. Yeah, a lot of people have been really into this. And I'm same, can't wait. John Linscott says, why was a Trench Viper and Modular pulled from Pulse if you need multiple? Pulled from Pulse, I don't know at the end of the day, John. I think my theory is they were just taking some stuff off, and that just happened to be one that was sold out that they were never going to get back in again. They just pulled off the thing. I don't know. Like, if it's that big, like, it doesn't, do they need that much? Like, is that going to cause any issues? Like, if it's just there, like some of the other stuff that's sold out. Because, like, if that was the case, you just take everything down that was sold out, wouldn't you? Because you're never, ever going to replace it again. So, yeah, I don't know why. Genuinely don't know why it was removed from Pulse entirely. No one's got Crystal Ball yet. That's true, Realzim. Yeah, no one's had them yet. Paul says, all the GameStops around me closed this year. I had one closed near us, Paul, and the rest stayed open. But, yeah, it was quite sad because that was the most convenient one for me. Heights Me says, oh man, my local GameStop has made a big push for more figures. Yojo is on the pegs from various waves. I've definitely seen multiple, like randomly they got like a ton of scrap irons in, like randomly. But like we're so beyond scrap iron now. Like nobody had issues getting scrap iron, I don't think. But yeah, like the retro waves always seem to show up there. No problem. The whole wave will be there. And they'll replenish that every now and again too, which is interesting. The 60th or now Legacy will show up there and be there, no problem. Standard retail waves, they were showing up on a regular basis, and now they've just stopped near me. It's just like put a complete hold on it. I've never seen any of the Walmart exclusives in any of my actual Walmarts. Same, Rachel. I can't think of any Walmart exclusive, specifically exclusive, other than the retro carded figures, ever been in Walmarts. I don't think I've ever seen them myself, other than those retros, which, some of them clogged the pegs for quite a while. Hey, Chris, speaking of Cold Slither, have I watched the Dreadnoks concept trailer? I think I have, Generation Joe. I think you sent that to me. I think I checked that. It's pretty cool. Yeah. Thank you very much. Hi, it's me. I have only seen a random couple that were clearly returns in terms of Walmart. Yeah, big time. 3 to 4 scrap irons showed up. It's the same for me for GameStop. I don't know why. Just so weird. I do know, though, that in some GameStops, especially near me, the GameStops near me, the collectors are pretty much on it. So they will know when certain figures are in stock, and they'll be there like in, first thing, like 3 a.m. to get them. Not that early, and they'll have hookups with like people that work there. So you're really just hoping that they get a good amount of stock in, but it's really hard to find. Dial tone. I am SOL for dial tone. Everything else I think I'm up to date with, but absolutely SOL dial tone. But yeah. Anywho, there's a piece of hair on screen. listings wise, I have made a few changes. Nothing that's going to blow anyone's minds. One, I've put inactive on that GI Joe Retro AN Ralph T listing, because that's what it says now. That particular listing is an inactive listing. I don't think we'll see it again. I don't think we'll see the whatever it was will probably end up in 2026 listings, right? But we probably won't know what it is. We might be able to make a guess as to what it might have been and what they ended up doing with it and where it ended up going. But as of right now, that listing is just inactive, so there won't be a Ralph T. It will be another retro listing in the future. So no idea what that was going to be or whatever, but it is technically an inactive listing. But I'm leaving it on there because it is, historical, because we have that listing. It's a listing and it existed at some point. So rather than remove it completely, I just put inactive next to it. And then, of course, because the other reason I'm saying that is because the listings themes change, and they will often change those and cycle through other different things. And they're already on different retro theme names as well. So because we've got retro listings for 2026 as well. So yeah, so that just really kind of that's just to kind of highlight that little change. The other changes, I just changed where it said $45 to $44.99 and $35 to $34.99, because that's technically what the prices were. I was just trying to conserve space, but if we're trying to be accurate, then that's the price point, isn't it? $44.99 and $34.99 are technically the price points for a figure pet, which is what that chair face probably is, because it's $44.99. It's also Fanmazon. So my thoughts is that it might be like Mutton Junkyard as Marauders deco. That's just that's where my mind goes, because that would make the most sense to me, because it's a figure pet price point. It's Fanmazon. It's most likely going to be some sort of redeco as an exclusive, or not an exclusive, but you know what I mean. Fanmazon isn't really an exclusive, is it? It just means Fan Channel and Amazon. So I'm just thinking it's probably going to be a repaint of Mutton Junkyard, probably Mad Marauders, but we don't know, and I don't actually know that one. That is a definite guess based on figure, pet, price point, and the fact of all the other things. Basically, if it was the European Action Force deco like Mutton Junkyard white, I would be crazy impressed, and also that would blow my mind, honestly. Hello, Loston. You're super late, but it's totally fine. You can watch it later. You can just go back and watch it later. Anyway, yeah, so that is my guess on that one. I think L-Seed, I have a feeling L-Seed is most likely the MMS with Colonel Hawk. Don't know for sure yet, but as soon as that's kind of confirmed, I will change the listings. But as far as at the moment, that TTL Seed G1229 Fanmazon is ever so likely going to be MMS with Colonel Hawk. And that's pretty much it. No other changes. Everything else is as you were. And that's it. Now, 2026 listings, as I said, we've got those Retro DL Dexter, Retro DL DD, and Retro DL Mandark, as I was talking about before. Those were the newest listings that have been added to this group. And of course, that is a theme change. It's Dexter's Laboratory, I think now, Dexter's Lab. So that is why I was talking about not really, even though it's an inactive listing on the previous one, the figure will probably show up. We won't know what it is. We'll make an educated guess, but it's probably going to be moved into this arena of sport. And of course, we know that JQ Johnny 2-pack is Taurus and Red Dog from the Renegades, of course. The other 2-pack that follows the Sergeant Mercer, which, of course, are the only two name-only reveals that we've got left that Emily dropped at the last live event. So Yojo June will be the next live stream, as far as I'm aware, and will be the next kind of major G.I. Joe classified sort of extravaganza. So we've got a little bit of time. What is it, like April? Well, the end of April now. So it's almost May. So we've got like a month, 1 month. God almighty, 1 month until Yojo June. What the actual F, guys? it's G.I. Joe Christmas. It's G.I. Joe Christmas to me, Yojo June. I treat it, it's like the middle of the year, and it is my Christmas time, Yojo June. So that will be the next, so 1 month's time, we'll have the entire month of Yojo June with a live stream and all that jazz. Loads of pre-orders, I imagine, reveals, and all the good stuff. And then shortly after that, it's SDCC. My God, this year is rapidly moving. I can't believe how quick it's going. I'm having an existential crisis live right now, guys. What the actual force? Oh my God, unbelievable. Anyway, that's all we know for name only reveals at the moment. Then digital renders, we have the Ore Striker, we have the MMS with Colonel Hawk, we have Retro Green Shirt for the Joes, and then we have Slice and Dice, Cold Slither, and Retro Bat for Cobra. That's pretty much all we have left at the moment. That hasn't been in the pre-order phase. So I'm expecting a ton more come Yojo June, which will be ridiculous, I imagine. And yeah, well, hopefully, I don't know. I'm hoping there's going to be some sort of change in the world soon, because it gets to the point where when it's your livelihood, and not just this, but actually my 9 to 5, when that is being threatened, it's like, oh, good, I have to change my entire life soon if things don't change, and that is genuinely concerning. So yeah, for all those people that are saying like, oh, whatever, big deal, it's for others it's a serious issue. So hopefully, if some things, I just hope something changes for the better. I hope positive moves very soon, although everything seems doom and gloom at the moment. That said, I'll try and keep on the jolly side for episodes, of course. But yeah, I posted very recently that tariffs graphic, and it is quite damning, unfortunately, and it just seems to keep going. But we're not here to talk about that today. We're here to talk about SDCC, Cold Slither images. We'll probably talk about the tariff situation on the weekly on Saturday, and yeah, we'll get into it there, I guess, in a way more detail. In the meantime, enjoy the rest of your Tuesday evening. I will be possibly back. So we are on the verge of hitting 6,000 subs on YouTube. So if you haven't subbed and you do watch this on like Facebook, or you watch it on, you watch it on YouTube, but you're not subbed to the channel, sub to the channel, because we're very close to 6K. And if we beat 6, if I hit 6K like this week or before Saturday, I will do like a special. I'll do like a video, and I was thinking of doing like a live where I talk about some of the most iconic moments in G.I. Joe, maybe a top 10 iconic moments in G.I. Joe for a 6K celebration on YouTube. But yeah, I'll obviously be very appreciative if you could do that for me. Hit the subscribe, indeed. Thank you, Fanboy Cantina. Hit like. Thank you, Scott Skeen. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your evening. I will be back, as I said, hopefully this week if we hit 6K. If not, then whatever news happens during the week, we will jump on it. And a little bit more news to tell you guys. We've got some exciting sponsorship news coming on Saturday. So on the weekly, we'll be revealing a new sponsor for the show. I know, very exciting indeed. General's Joe's Reborn will still be on the movie news bursts when we get movie news, because that seems to have completely dried up. But yeah, 100%, we are getting some very cool sponsorship happening for the show, and I will reveal all on Saturday on the weekly with new videos and that as well. Anyway, have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday. I'll see you soon, or not, whatever the case may be. Stay fresh, cheese bags. And as always, after 3, you know what to do. 1, 2, 3. Full force. Laters. That's it for this installment of the Full Force News Burst. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time, and as always, full force. Make sure you get involved with the discussion by liking, sharing and commenting on these videos. And as always, you can keep up with the show after listening by following on all of our social platforms, links in the description. And if you would like to contact the show, you can message us on any of those platforms with feedback or questions. We also have a Patreon page, so if you want to show your support for the show, see your name up in lights on these videos, or enjoy exclusive bonus content, then check out patreon.com/The Full Force Podcast, or click the link on any of the posts this podcast appears in. Full Force.